What if I told you there's a breath so powerful, it was once considered too dangerous to teach publicly? An ancient technique known as dragon's breath. It doesn't just calm you, it awakens something deeper. A primal force hidden in your core waiting to ignite. For centuries, this sacred breath was guarded by mystics and energy alchemists, and now it's returning. This isn't breathwork for relaxation, it's breathwork for transformation. Watch to the end, and you'll discover how this forbidden practice can unlock your vitality, sharpen your mind, and elevate your spirit beyond the limits of modern life. Fire, before we begin, take one breath, subscribe to this channel, and comment "Awaken" if you're truly ready to enter the dragon's path. You've been told that energy comes from food, sleep, or supplements. But what if that's a lie? What if the real source of your power has nothing to do with what enters your body, and everything to do with what you've been trained to ignore? Deep inside your lower abdomen, beneath your belly button, lies a force so ancient, so raw, it once fueled warriors, monks, and sages alike. It's called the Dantian, and it's not just a concept. It's a dormant furnace, a core energy center that modern society has programmed you to forget. Because if you remembered, you'd become uncontrollable. Think about it. Why would schools, systems, and so-called experts never teach you how to tap into your own bioelectric fire? Why would no one mention that your body is designed to generate its own power on demand? Because a self-powered human is dangerous to a world built on dependence. The truth is this: you were born with a dragon sleeping inside your belly. But instead of teaching you how to wake it, they taught you to fear it, to stay small, to live from your head, never your core. But here's the paradox. The very thing you were told to ignore is the one source of vitality that never runs out. And it starts with a breath, not just any breath, but a sacred technique that was once banned, hidden away in monasteries, sealed behind secret oral transmissions for generations. It's not mystical nonsense. It's biology plus intention plus energy equals inner ignition. If you've ever felt like something's missing, if you've ever wondered why your body feels tired even when you rest, it's because the fire inside you was never truly lit. Fire, so ask yourself now, what happens if you stop waiting? What if I told you that the way you're breathing right now is actually draining your energy? Sounds insane, right? But that's exactly what's happening, because the modern breath, the shallow, stressed-out chest breathing you've been doing since childhood, is not natural. It's not how your ancestors breathed. It's not how warriors breathed. It's not how awakened humans breathe. It's how controlled humans breathe. And that's the difference between existing and igniting. You see, every time you breathe fast and shallow into your chest, you activate your sympathetic nervous system, your fight-or-flight response. But you're not fighting, you're not running, you're just sitting, working, worrying, doom-scrolling. And your nervous system, it's on fire for the wrong reasons. Over time, this kind of breathing doesn't just tire your body, it weakens your digestion, tightens your chest, reduces oxygen flow to your brain, and collapses your internal energy field. Meanwhile, the ancient way, the true breath, goes down deep into the belly. It's slow, silent, powerful. It stimulates your parasympathetic system. It unlocks the Dantian. It fuels your inner dragon, and yet no one taught you this. Not in school, not in therapy, not even in your yoga class. Why? Because a person who breathes consciously becomes clear, and a clear person is hard to manipulate, hard to sell to, hard to keep trapped in systems built on fear and fatigue. That's the uncomfortable truth. They don't want you to breathe like a sovereign being, but now you know. And knowing is the spark. All you have to do is reverse the rhythm. Slow down. Drop the breath lower. Let your belly move. This is the first step to reclaiming your energy, not from a pill but from your very core. You were told the dragon is dangerous, a beast to slay, a monster to fear. But what if that was the first lie you were fed to keep you weak? In ancient cultures, from China to Mesopotamia, the dragon wasn't a villain, it was a symbol of wisdom, of mastery, of transcendent power. It guarded treasure not in caves, but within you, because the true treasure is your inner energy. In Taoist alchemy, the dragon isn't a fiery reptile. It's the name for the life force coiled at the base of your spine and the depths of your belly. Your Dantian is the dragon's nest, and your breath, it's the flame that wakes it. That's why every mystic tradition in history speaks of a sacred fire, a coiled serpent, a hidden spark. But over time, these teachings were twisted, turned into fairy tales, hidden under dogma, or worse, demonized. Why? Because when you recognize the dragon inside you, you no longer bow to the dragons outside you. Here's the paradox they never taught you. The very thing that looks chaotic is your order. The very symbol they painted as dark is your light. Dragon is not destruction, it's discipline, it's presence. It's fire under control, channeled through breath, focus, and inner stillness. It's the part of you that can't be enslaved, bought, numbed, or silenced. And now it stirs. The sensations you've ignored in your gut, the warmth, the pulse, the subtle vibration, that's the dragon's breath waiting. Not to burn your world down, but to raise it from the ashes. Fire, so ask yourself, will you keep locking the door on your own power? Comment "Awaken" below if you feel the dragon moving, because next we'll show you how. This isn't folklore, this is practice. A system once reserved for monks, alchemists, and spiritual warriors. Passed down in whispers, hidden in scrolls, erased from mainstream teachings. But today, you reclaim it. This is how you breathe to awaken the dragon, step by step. Step 1, breathe low. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Now inhale slowly through your nose for 4 to 6 seconds. The hand on your chest should stay still. The one on your belly should rise. This is called abdominal or diaphragmatic breathing. It's the foundation. Without it, the technique fails. Exhale gently for 6 to 8 seconds through your nose or parted lips. Your belly falls. Your nervous system calms. Your fire center awakens. Step 2, visualize the core. As you inhale, picture a golden sphere forming just below your navel, 3 fingers down. This is your Dantian. Imagine it glowing, expanding, getting warmer with every breath. With each exhale, see the sphere getting DNSCR like molten light. Not fantasy, focus. Your mind becomes the sculptor of your energy. This is how you generate power on command. Step 3, lock the fire. At the peak of each inhale, gently contract your perineum, the muscle between your genitals and anus. Just a soft squeeze. This is the seal. The ancient Taoists called it closing the cauldron. It keeps the energy from leaking down. As you exhale, release the contraction. Let the warmth stay, let it settle. This is how you store the dragon's breath. 3 steps. No gadgets, no mantras, just breath, awareness, and will. And here's the paradox. The most powerful transformation begins not in motion, but in stillness. Fire if you felt something shift while practicing, like this video now, and comment, "I lit the fire." Because in the next step, we'll reveal what happens. You think your energy comes from food, from sleep, from supplements. That's what they want you to believe. But the ancient masters knew a deeper truth. Energy is not something you consume, it's something you create. And it all begins in one place, the Dantian. This isn't woo-woo mysticism. This is biological alchemy. The Dantian, located just below your navel, is not only your center of gravity, it's your body's original power core. Inside it lies a network of nerves, blood vessels, lymphatic flow, and electromagnetic potential. When you breathe into it, you don't just relax, you ignite. You send a cascade of stimulation to your vagus nerve, activating your parasympathetic system, reducing inflammation, increasing digestion, and boosting immune response. Let's get brutally honest. Your organs are starving not from lack of food, but from lack of flow, lack of breath, lack of movement at the energetic root. By activating the Dantian, you turn your gut into a living reactor. Blood flows better, oxygen reaches deeper, hormones regulate, your cells start to communicate at light speed. This is coherence. This is what peak health feels like, not from a pharmacy but from your belly, and that's just the body. When the Dantian awakens, the mind gets clearer. Emotional chaos calms, thought loops dissolve. You become present, anchored, aware, unshakable. And from that stillness, a higher kind of intelligence emerges, not intellectual but intuitive. Ancient, raw, alive. This is why monks spent decades cultivating the lower Dantian before even attempting spiritual work. Because without it, your energy is scattered, your awareness floats, your power leaks. Collision, you've lit the fire, you've awakened the dragon. But here's the warning they never told you: if you don't move this energy, it will either burn you up or disappear. That's not metaphor, that's energy law. See, the Dantian is like a cauldron. Once it starts boiling, the pressure rises. If you don't circulate that power, it stagnates. If you suppress it, it overheats. You get anxious, aggressive, wired but tired, or worse, completely numb. The same energy meant to heal you turns against you when it's left unguided. That's why the ancients didn't just teach how to ignite the core. They taught how to cycle it, how to direct it, how to turn fire into flow. This is where the microcosmic orbit begins. It's the hidden highway of energy that runs up your spine, over your crown, and down the front of your body in a loop. When activated, it becomes a moving circuit, like a river of light, nourishing every organ, gland, and cell along the way. Your adrenal fatigue, your brain fog, your blocked emotions, they begin to unravel. But here's the paradox: you don't force it, you follow it, breath by breath, awareness by awareness. The dragon doesn't respond to control. It responds to presence. And if you're thinking this sounds too mystical, here's your shock. Modern neuroscience confirms it. Visualizing energy movement activates corresponding neural circuits. Breath modulates vagus tone. Spinal fluid responds to intention. Energy follows attention. So the real question is this: are you just breathing or are you channeling? Because what happens next is not passive, it's a choice. Either you let your energy leak back into the noise, or you learn to move it like the sages did. Fire, comment, circulate if you're ready to take control, because the next part is where the circuit becomes. So now the fire is awake and you've learned how to guide it. But what if I told you that this flow, this sacred orbit, does more than just balance your energy? It reprograms your entire biological system. This is not about belief. This is bioelectric architecture. Your spine is not just a column of bones, it's a living antenna. Every vertebra along it is wired to a gland, an emotion, a piece of memory. And when the dragon's breath rises through it, it lights them up one by one. Starting at the base, the root, your adrenal system, survival instincts, then your sacrum, linked to reproduction, creativity. As the energy climbs, it stimulates your lumbar spine, your digestion, your personal power. Then the thoracic spine, connected to heart, lungs, emotions. It ascends to your cervical spine, feeding your throat, expression, truth. And finally, your skull base and crown, where the pineal and pituitary glands reside. This is where consciousness begins to expand. But here's the real kicker. This flow isn't just vertical. It completes a loop. When the energy reaches the top, you don't just hold it, you circulate it. Let it fall softly down the front of your body, through your third eye, throat, heart, belly, until it lands back in the Dantian, like a cosmic breath, a full-body exhale. This is the microcosmic orbit. The Taoists didn't just imagine this, they experienced it. They described a sensation of warmth moving like a golden serpent, a wave of light that clears thought, stabilizes emotion, and unlocks intuitive vision. And science is finally catching up. Functional MRI shows increased blood flow and coherence in the brain during breath-induced visualization. Hormonal glands light up, cortisol drops, endorphins spike. But most importantly, this circuit reminds your soul that your body is holy, not just meat, not just bone, but a vessel of fire, a channel between earth and cosmos, a biologic. In a world addicted to more effort, more hustle, more noise, the true masters move differently. They don't force, they don't chase, they don't burn out, because they know a secret that flips everything you were taught upside down. Energy built through effort. It's built through alignment. You've been conditioned to believe that power comes from pushing harder, but Dragon's breath teaches the opposite. When you connect with your Dantian, when you breathe from stillness, you don't have to do more. You simply become more, your presence thickens, your aura sharpens, people feel you before you speak. That's not magic, that's frequency. Mastery isn't speed, it's direction. It's not how much you do, it's how precisely you do it, with how much energy you carry in each movement, each word, each breath. And here's the paradox no one wants to admit. When you begin cultivating your inner fire, life doesn't get harder, it gets easier. Why? Because you're no longer running on caffeine, panic, and external validation. You're running on something deeper, something generated from within. This energy doesn't lie, it doesn't beg, it radiates, it magnetizes, it heals. And here's where most people sabotage the entire journey. They chase more techniques, more tools, more noise, but the dragon doesn't respond to excess. It responds to presence. It thrives in simplicity, in ritual, in quiet consistency. 10 minutes of conscious breath done daily will outpower a week of random chaos. That's not discipline, that's resonance. So the next time the world tries to suck you into urgency, remember this: the dragon doesn't run, it waits, it breathes, and then, when it chooses to act, it changes everything. The final piece now is to bring this all together, to remember why this practice was once forbidden, and why now it's being remembered. You didn't learn anything new today. You remembered the fire inside you. It was never gone, it was just silenced by fear, by distraction, by a system that benefits when you forget what you are. But now the dragon stirs, the breath has changed. The orbit flows, and something deep in your core has clicked back into place. You are not powerless, you are not broken, you are not waiting for anything outside of you. The path is ancient, the flame is eternal, and the breath you now know how to wield is the key. Fire if this video AWAKENed something in you, like, comment, and subscribe, because this is just the beginning. There is more to remember, more to reclaim, and more sacred fire to breathe.